institutions. And so I want you to hear what she's doing, but I also want you to be thinking about the meta picture of the manner in which she's approaching this fascinating world. Isabella Grandic, thank you.
There are two things I like: solving the world's biggest problems and food. Turns out, one of the world's biggest problems is food.
Good plan.
The way we make food just doesn't make sense. Cows are the factories that we're using to grow beef. But for every 100 units of food that we feed a cow, the cow only retains 3 units of food for us. That's a 3% efficient factory. Where else in the world would we accept a 3% efficient technology or factory to create the food that we're eating? This didn't make any sense to me. So then I started learning about an alternative way in which we can do this. What if we could take the exact same cells inside the body of a cow and transfer them into some other factory that's much more efficient and can make the exact same meat production products as cows, but using 99% less land, 98% less greenhouse gas, 96% less water. This completely blew my mind. So inside the body of a cow, myosatellite stem cells, which are cells that have the potential to become muscle tissue, but they're not muscle tissue yet, they go through a process called myogenesis. And myogenesis is when these cells get all the nutrients that they need to grow into muscle tissue. It's kind of like the Knowledge Society, which takes young, ambitious people and gives them skills and resources to become the next Elon Musk of the world. Thank you. And also the Knowledge Society is going to do that to your 9 to 12-year-olds with a new program called Foundations. So cows are kind of like the Knowledge Society, but for myosatellite stem cells. They give them lipids, the carbohydrates, you name it. And then those cells unlock their potential and then become muscle tissue. But lab-grown meat does this exact same thing without the whole cow. It takes a growth serum, which is kind of like the soil of a plant. It provides the carbohydrates, the lipids, and the proteins needed to let those cells harness their potential. And then we have these small little proteins, which have the ability to help the cells communicate. And the proteins are kind of like cheerleaders. They're like, yeah, cell, proliferate. And we also have the myosatellite stem cells. So by combining the growth serum, by taking the proteins and the myosatellite stem cells, we put this all in these big bioreactor tanks, and we can make meat. I got so excited by this, mostly because it's not science fiction. It's actually been done before. And lab-grown meat beat conventional meat on every single metric except one: price. The cost to produce lab-grown meat is insanely high. And that's because of a specific ingredient called FBS. FBS is like this magic potion that lets these cells continue proliferating. And it's really important because it has growth serum, and it has these growth factors. And what these growth factors do is they help the cells grow, but FBS also has 2 other things. It has anti-growth factors, which is exactly what you think they'd be, and it also has neutral factors. FBS costs hundreds of dollars, and that's what causes the price to skyrocket. Except when we buy it, we're paying for the anti-growth factors, the growth factors, and the neutral factors. So this doesn't make a lot of sense. So what I started looking into is a way we can take those growth factors, the ones that actually help the cells. And if we can take the genetic code for these growth factors, and place it into a microorganism like yeast, we can have yeast that create the growth factors. And with these growth factors, we can create a serum to feed the cells. Turns out, this is a lot more difficult than we think. The way we combine proteins in whatever ratio really matters, and it affects the way the cells grow. It's almost next to impossible to figure out how we can get proteins and how we can make lab-grown meat. But it turns out there's a type of algorithm called a genetic algorithm. And when I learned about it, I got really interested, because genetic algorithms are search optimization tools. And what they do is they start with the population of some sort of, like imagine, so each member of the population is some combination of proteins. And what the algorithm does is it tests the fitness of each member of the population. So the fitness would be how well these proteins grow the myosatellite stem cells. So testing the fitness, we then cut the population and only select the top scoring individuals. We take those top scoring individuals and allow them to reproduce. And then they are passed through the fitness function again, we're selected for again, reproduce again, and it's this whole cycle, which basically is similar to evolution, but way sped up. So in terms of finding the right proteins and the right growth factors to make lab-grown meat, we can use these powerful algorithms to harness the ratios and to solve this insanely difficult problem. I got really interested in using genetic algorithms because I saw so much potential in the protein industry in order to create this serum. And to create the serum would solve the problem in lab-grown meat. So it would make lab-grown meat that is not only environmentally much better than conventional meat, but it will also be cheaper and healthier. I got so excited because I was basically cooking the future of food, which is ironic because I can't cook. But I gotta do the two things that I love doing most: making food and solving the world's biggest problems. Thank you. My social was on there, so I wanted to promote myself. You know what they are?